Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the Run Lift Race Show. Today we are diving into part 2 of the posture series, where we talk about the #1 cause for over 75% of running injuries and how you can avoid it. Let's go. Alright, so last week we talked about pelvic alignment, and I gave you 3 tips for how to improve your posture when you run when it comes to your pelvis. Today I want to give you another 3 tips for the upper body to improve your form. Okay, so first I want you to understand why this is so important, okay? So when we run, our goal is to make things as easy as possible. And what I mean by that is trying to prevent any wasted energy, or what I also like to call energy leaks. So energy leaks are actually what slow us down, and if done on a repetitive basis, it can lead to muscle overuse and imbalance, eventually leading to injury. All right, so the most efficient way for us to run from an arm swing standpoint is with the shoulders back and down, with the elbows brushing the sides, and our fist actually coming to our pocket. And there are 3 really benefits for being able to get into an efficient arm swing. The first is when we talk about getting our elbows straight back and being able to keep them to the side, this is actually going to help serve as a counterbalance to that forward lean that we talked about last week. So when we run, we want to be able to leverage gravity to help us run. We don't want to be working against gravity when we run. Again, we want to make things as easy as possible. So when you're leaning forward from the ankles, getting the correct arm swing is going to help serve as a counterbalance so that you're not falling forward, okay? The second benefit of getting a really good arm swing is that it's going to prevent torso twisting. So you may see a lot of runners kind of doing this, which I call the truck driver, okay, or little dance move there, okay? And what's happening is you're doing a lot of wasted movement, okay? And again, sort of working against mechanics to be able to make running easier for you. It's also going to put a lot of excess sort of torque on the spine. It can show up as back pain. So we want to be able to minimize that. The third is breathing. Yes. So if you are struggling with your breath while you run, it may be because your shoulders are hunched forward and you're not allowing the rib cage to fully expand and get the amount of oxygen that it needs to be able to fuel your run. So when you've got your shoulders back and down, you've got your elbows to your side, you're allowing that rib cage to expand to give you the oxygen that you need to allow for easier breathing when you run. Okay guys, so as promised, I'm going to give you 3 tips to think about with your arm swing before you go on that run. So the first I want you to think about is just kind of starting with your head and working your way down. So we're going to start with something called the tripod, okay? So what I want you to do is take your index finger, put it on your chin, your thumb and your middle finger on your collarbone, and then you're going to pull your chin down until those other 2 fingers can reach your collarbone, okay? This puts your neck and your head in a neutral position, and that's really the start of where we need to be with our arm swing. The second thing that I want you to do is to pull your shoulders back and down, okay? So what I want you to think about is your shoulders kind of going into your back pocket and then squeezing those shoulder blades together. The third thing is when you're running and you're conscious about your arm swing, what you really should be feeling is your arms brushing your side. So when my elbow comes back, I want you to think about just driving your elbow back, and my fist should be right at my pocket. So if done correctly, I should feel my arms brushing my sides, and I should feel my fist being able to get to my pocket. And that's a really good sign of a great elbow drive, is by getting that fist actually all the way to your pocket. And that's what's going to help with that counterbalance that I talked about. All right, you guys, so between last week and this week, I've given you 6 tips to improve your run form from a posture standpoint, which is really the foundation for everything. So your homework this week is to download a free checklist that I've created for you to be able to use every time you go out for a run. Now, what I want to tell you is that running form takes some time. So what I'd like you to do is just pick one thing to focus on, whether it's something with the upper body or the lower body. Practice it until you feel like it's mastered, and then move on to the next one. Okay, so you can go to my website to download that free checklist. It's runliftrace.com/blog/4. That's runliftrace.com/blog/4. Go and download that checklist, and let's start improving that run form so that we can get you running faster, easier, and pain-free. I'll see you next week.